Hello students, I Priti Vasani, your SS teacher, today will introduce you to History Chapter 2 from Trade to Territory. For that, I have prepared a video for you. Let us go through it.
East India Company comes east. Aurangzeb was the last powerful Mughal ruler. After the death of Aurangzeb, the later rulers proved to be inefficient and foreign powers got opportunity to establish their rule in India. In 1600, Royal Charter granted to East India Company granting the sole right to trade with the East. Students, you should know that Queen Elizabeth I granting it the sole right to trade with the East. East India Company bought goods at a cheap price and sold them at higher price in Europe. East India Company and its officials accumulated wealth by the trade of India and caught attention of other European powers. Students, take a note that the fine qualities of cotton and silk produced in India had a big market in Europe. Pepper, cloves, cardamom and cinnamon too were in great demand. East India Company began trade in Bengal. In 1651, the first English factory was set up on the banks of river Hooghly and first English factory was opened up at Surat in 1608. Aurangzeb issued a firman granting the company the right to trade duty-free. The company tried to press for more concessions and manipulate existing privileges. How did trade lead to battles? After the death of Aurangzeb, the Bengal Nawabs asserted their power and autonomy. The Nawabs of Bengal refused to grant the company concessions as it was making the revenue from Bengal trade less profitable. Students, take a note. They refused to grant the company concessions, demanded large tributes for the company's right to trade, denied it any right to mint coins and stopped it from extending its fortifications. The British wanted the duties to be abolished, but Bengal Nawabs refused. British officials knew the condition of administration in Bengal and tried their autonomy by use of force. The conflict led to confrontations and finally culminated in the famous Battle of Plassey. The Battle of Plassey, as a result of denial of trading rights on 23rd June 1757, Battle of Plassey was fought and it was the first major victory of English in India. Alivardi Khan died in 1756 and Sirajuddaula became the Nawab of Bengal. In 1757, Robert Clive led the company's army against Sirajuddaula at Plassey. Main reason for defeat of the Nawab was that the forces led by Mir Jafar, one of Sirajuddaulla's commanders, betrayed Sirajuddaula and never fought the battle. Mir Jafar was promised by Clive to be made Nawab after crushing Sirajuddaula. As per the deal, Mir Jafar became the Nawab of Bengal after the defeat and death of Sirajuddaula. Students, take a note that the Battle of Plassey became famous because it was the first major victory the company won in India. The Battle of Buxar. Mir Jafar was just a puppet in the hands of Britishers. In 1764, the Battle of Buxar was fought between Britishers and Mir Qasim, when Mir Qasim denied the privileges given to Britishers. In this battle, British became victorious and they decided to control the territory by their own. Company officials became Nawabs. In 1765, the Mughal Emperor appointed the company as the Diwan of the provinces of Bengal and they also got the Diwani rights of Bihar and Orissa. In 1764, Robert Clive was appointed Governor of Bengal. Nawab, an angelicized version of the Indian word Nawab, as British were leading a lavish life similar to Nawabs and everyone was on the mercy of British. Students, take a note. Those who managed to return with wealth led fleshy lives and flaunted their riches. Company rule expands. After Battle of Buxar, the company appointed residents in Indian states. The company forced the states into a subsidiary alliance, and the king had to put an army of British. In the case of non-payment to army, the Nawab or the king had to give some part of its territory. Students, take a note. The Nawab of Awadh was forced to give over half of his territory to the company in 1801. Tipu Sultan, the Tiger of Mysore. Tipu Sultan was the son of Hyder Ali, ruler of Mysore. Tipu Sultan ruled Mysore from 1782 to 1799. Tipu Sultan took the help of French to modernize his army and sent foreign delegates to gather the foreign help against British. Students, remember, in 1785, Tipu Sultan stopped the export of sandalwood, pepper and cardamom through the ports of his kingdom. 4 wars were fought between Britishers and Mysore and were known as the Anglo-Mysore Wars. From 1767 to 1769, 1780 to 84, 1790 to 92 and 1799. In 1799, the Britishers won the Battle of Seringapatam against Mysore. Tipu Sultan was killed. Students, take a note. Mysore was placed under the former ruling dynasty of the Wodeyars and a subsidiary alliance was imposed on the state. Anglo-Maratha Wars. After the defeat of Maratha in Battle of Panipat in 1761, they get divided in various small dynasties such as Scindia, Holkars, Gaikwad and Bhosle. 3 wars were fought between Marathas and British in 1782, 1803-05 and 1817-19. Students, take a note. The company now had complete control over the territories south of the Vindhya. Claim to paramountcy. As British were proving themselves as the best power across the India, this enhanced their desire to rule whole territories and they started direct conquest under Lord Hastings, that is from 1830 to 23. Under Lord Hastings, a new policy of paramountcy was initiated. Now the company claimed that its authority was paramount or supreme. Hence, its power was greater than that of Indian states. Doctrine of lapse. Under the regime of Lord Dalhousie, that is from 1848 to 56, they adopted the policy of lapse. According to this policy, the ruler who does not have any legal heir could not pass on their property to the adopted son and it would be taken over by British. Satara, Sambalpur, Jhansi were annexed by this policy. Administration under British. In 1773, Warren Hastings became the Governor-General of Bengal and controlled the governors of other presidencies of Madras and Bombay. Separate civil and criminal courts were set up under the supervision of collector. New set of laws were compiled by Muftis and Brahmins for the religious interpretation. Students, take a note, a new system of justice was established. Each district was to have 2 courts, a criminal court that is a Faujdari Adalat and a civil court that is a Diwani Adalat. Students, I hope you understood all the concepts explained here of the chapter from trade to territory. Now, I would like you to carry out an activity on a piece of paper. Thank you.